In this video, we're going to review how to solve a cross-price elasticity of demand question. Consider the perfectly competitive market for sunflowers. Demand is described by the function quantity equals 140 minus 2PS minus PR, where QS is bunches of sunflowers, PS is the price per bunch of sunflowers, and PR is the price per bunch of roses. Suppose that the current prices for sunflowers and roses are sunflowers cost $10 a bunch and roses cost $40 a bunch. Using this information, we're going to determine the cross-price elasticity of demand for sunflowers with respect to the price of roses. And then we're going to figure out if sunflowers and roses are complement goods or substitute goods. What do we need to know in order to solve this question? We need to know the demand function, as well as the prices of each of the goods. How are we going to solve this question? We just need to apply the relevant formula. So the cross-price elasticity of demand formula here is because we want to understand how demand for sunflowers changes with the price of roses, we're looking at the price of roses divided by the quantity of sunflowers times the partial derivative of the demand for sunflowers with respect to the price of roses. So it looks kind of like a standard elasticity formula, P over Q times delta Q over delta P. But here, the prices and quantities don't match, so to speak. We want to know how the quantity demanded of sunflowers responds to the price of roses. Let's solve this question. So here's what we know. We know the demand for sunflowers, the price of sunflowers, and the price of roses. We are looking for the cross-price elasticity of demand, and the relevant formula is that cross-price elasticity of demand formula we just discussed. So we have PR in our formula, but we need QS and we need this partial. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to substitute our two prices into the demand function to find Q. So I have the quantity demanded of sunflowers is equal to 140 minus 2 times the price of sunflowers minus the price of roses. So doing a little work, I have 140 minus 20 minus 40. 140 minus 60 is 80. Now we need to compute that partial derivative of the demand for sunflowers with respect to the price of roses. It can be really helpful to isolate where the price of roses actually appears. It's only in that last term. So when we take this partial derivative, we're really just differentiating negative PR. And the derivative of negative PR is -1. Typically, derivatives in elasticity questions tend to be just this simple. Okay, now we have all the missing parts of our formula and we can apply it and draw a nice conclusion about cross-price elasticity of demand. So the cross-price elasticity of demand is the price of roses, which is 40, divided by the quantity of sunflowers, which is 80, times that partial derivative of -1. So we have -40 over 80, which is equal to -0.5. Now that we know that the cross-price elasticity of demand is -0.5, we can answer our second question, which is, are sunflowers and roses complement goods, substitute goods, or neither? To answer this question, it's all about the sign of the cross-price elasticity of demand. So here, our elasticity is negative, and that's going to imply that these two goods are complement goods. If instead we had seen a positive cross-price elasticity of demand, we would have concluded that roses and sunflowers were substitutes. If the cross-price elasticity of demand was equal to 0, we would have said they were neither. They were unrelated to each other. But here, because we get that negative value, they are complementary.